Coach, we're just a stone's throw from the Delaware River. We've got some water to contend with ourselves. A steady rain falling at Lincoln Financial Field. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Stiff-armed him. He'll have a first down past the 40. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Check four.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Now a first down run is sniffed out from the start as they'll drop him for a loss of 4. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here we go. Hey, come on. You must get tired of seeing me.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. He'll look to throw. Open man is Hill. He's got it. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
And that hits off the left up upright, and it caroms away no good. And this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that hollow metal sound is the bane of any kicker's existence, and here, that sound is going to keep our game scoreless.
And you could see him give that body English as the ball was in the air. Come on, baby, come on. But no dice that time.
Let's go now. 61.
It's 59. Mike to 59.
Go, go, go. 36, 36. Shift. Left to right. Switch. Ready.
And he'll give it here to his running back. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
He wasn't ready.
This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
54 miles.
Check pass.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
I'm not sure that you'd call it a trick play, but they definitely showed some imagination there. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to come back and show this play a few more times before this one is over.
Here we go. 50 set. Took to Pittsburgh.
We ain't giving up nothing today.
Alert flare. Yeah.
Watch the motion.
Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4. Hey, here I come. Here we go.
And they give this time to the tailback. And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down, 3 yards in the wrong direction. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were counting on those points. In today's NFL, let's face it, that's really a chip shot, right?
That's anything inside 40.
Yeah, they're counting on that going through the post. But we've seen it happen to teams before. Some of the best kickers in the world can miss kicks like that. Can they come back now and redeem themselves?
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Second and 14. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw here. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Murphy now to return. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Tackles. 59, Mike. 59.
Now Murray throwing on 2nd down. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 22 yards there, a first down. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 36. Now a handoff looking right. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
I got you, boy.
On 2nd and 12, Murray. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 23.
Here we go.
That's good for Eagles. First down. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. No score after 1 on EA Sports.
Mike is 59. Watch QB drop.
On 1st and 10, here's Murray. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Sharp there with his feet, gets him a little extra space, and then drop just inside the 20.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Bandit.
Murray's going to keep this himself on the RPO.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down.
Check, come on. Check. Mike, check. 59. All right.
Again, they'll throw with Murray. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. Noah Fant, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on the Short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Second and 6, just inside the 30.
We got it, we got it.
He finds an opening past the 40. Cuts it out to the sideline. And he'll finally be taken down at the 18. A big play here for Dallas. Well, hello. I mean, it took him a while to get him a rep, but that's quite an introduction to this game.
And not just hello. How about goodbye to the defense as he went past him? Big-time run on his first carry of the game.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll take this down for about 4 yards, down to the 15. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Second and 6. And it'll be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
It's now second and 6 at the 24-yard line.
Let's go, defense. Hey, man up, D. Man up, D. Check 99. Check 99.
Now they try the right side here. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Brings up 3rd and 7.
And on third down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back.
Mike 53. Coming.
Throwing is Murray on third down. Looking for Murphy, and he finds him complete. A big pickup there for the Eagles' first down, 18 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Let's go. 15 on it. 15 on it. Wahoo.
Hey, man. Watch the boot. Watch the boot.
Throwing on first down is Murray. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now a handoff here to his running back. 14 yards there and an Eagle first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Here we go.
And he'll give it here to his running back.
Check. 3 down.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Watch the pass.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man. But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping.
From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 12-yard line.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. From the gun, a run with Cannon. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. Murray's going to keep this himself on the RPO. That's complete right around the 8. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half.
Let's go, D.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and he's in for an Eagles touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half, and the Eagles able to push further out in front.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here.
Harrison Butker set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Watch the curl.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Hey, switch gears. Switch it.
On 3rd down, Murray. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Check 50.
On 1st down, it's Elliott, and the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Here we go.
2nd and 11. They're going deep for Hill. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
From the 38, Murray. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now a throw out to his fullback is complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's an Eagles first down on a gain of 11.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Murray now, 13 of 15 passing. That's good for 87%. It's 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. Tackle made there by Chidobe Awuzie.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
36-yard line.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
53's the mic. 53. Check 53.
2nd down. Murray sets to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Let's go now. 54. Let's go, baby. They turn it over. Let's get that ball. Let's get that ball. Check 20.
Mike 5-4. Mike 5-4.
Murray going to try to throw on 3rd down. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
And this one is right down the middle. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front seven? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
The Cowboys take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Check 52.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Switch.
Elliott. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And going deep for Hill. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there. With his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. As they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, where the fourth quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the third quarter. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. I don't want to say that they're completely against the wall here, Charles, but all of a sudden, with the run that they've been on the other sideline, this is down to a 3-point game. They got to be careful.
Not much space from their back to the wall, though. So you're exactly right. They've got to be careful here. But this is where the value of note-taking and recall comes into play. What was working earlier? Why was it working? Can you get those types of matchups again? And can you run those plays that get you a little bit more breathing room and a little bit of space?
Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
Let him know, let him know. Let him know, let him know.
Murray now on first down. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Murray. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This will be a tough 3rd and 18.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Murray with a 3rd and long. And that will be incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Fielded just inside the 20. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
Elliott on 1st down going absolutely nowhere. He'll lose about 3 on the play. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Come on, boys, come on.
2nd and 13. Going for a right side here, complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
They'll set up to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
And he's got the hook up to Moore. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
as big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3.
Watch the shit. Watch the shit. Hey, over. Watch the shit.
Check your backer. Check your backer.
Kill. Go.
From the gun, Murray. And this is caught. He hits more. A big pickup there for the Eagles' first down, 18 yards.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 49-yard line.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down.
Hey, watch it.
Tight dog. Rotate. Spell.
And he'll give it here to his running back. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
At the 47-yard line. A 2-yard pickup brings up 3rd and 1.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Murray to throw on 3rd and 1. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 33.
They brought in the heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play. But we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one. Wound up hitting him for a first down.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they give this time to the tailback. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Now a handoff looking right. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the 4th quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Watch the run.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. T.J. Watt in on the tackle. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through, and they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for the Eagles, they remain one of the hottest teams out there as the win moves them to 6-1. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, the loss will drop them to 6-2 now on the year. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.